20 Curious Facts About President Kennedy. Let's delve into President John F. Kennedy's enigmatic life with 20 intriguing facts. Explore his meteoric rise from his early political career to the controversies surrounding his personal life. We are going to uncover the mysteries behind his womanizing ways and the theories surrounding the cause of his untimely demise. We are taking a look at the man behind the myth, from his triumphs to his flaws, and discover the enduring legacy of one of America's most iconic leaders. Number 20, the academic years. President Kennedy's academic achievements showcased his intellectual prowess and dedication to excellence. He graduated cum laude from Harvard University with a Bachelor of Arts in Government in 1940, demonstrating his keen interest in politics and governance from an early age. Subsequently, he furthered his education at Stanford Graduate School of Business before attending Harvard Law School. Number 19, the nerdy president. President Kennedy was a passionate reader, consuming an impressive speed of 1 to 2 books per day. His love for literature was not merely a hobby, but a deep-seated intellectual pursuit with topics ranging from history and politics to philosophy and fiction. This voracious appetite for knowledge undoubtedly contributed to his sharp intellect and eloquence, shaping his approach to governance and diplomacy. Kennedy's dedication to reading set him apart as a scholarly leader and influenced his decision-making process, making him one of the most intellectually curious presidents in American history. Number 18, the war hero. President Kennedy's military service during World War II was marked by courage and resilience. Despite facing numerous challenges, including injuries and the loss of his PT boat, a PT-109, in a Japanese attack in the Pacific Ocean, Kennedy displayed remarkable leadership and courage. After the attack, he helped save his crew by swimming for hours to a nearby island, towing a wounded comrade with a life jacket strap clenched in his teeth. This heroic act demonstrated his dedication to his fellow servicemen and showed his ability to remain composed and decisive under extreme pressure. Number 17, the military accolades. President Kennedy's military honors reflect his exemplary service and bravery. In addition to the Navy and Marine Corps Medal he received for heroism during World War II, Kennedy was also awarded the Purple Heart. This prestigious decoration was bestowed upon him for injuries sustained during the PT-109 incident, where his bravery and leadership saved the lives of his crew members. Number 16, the injured fighter. President Kennedy struggled with chronic back pain after his service. His back problems stemmed from injuries sustained during his military service in World War II, compounded by degenerative spinal disease and osteoporosis. To manage his pain, Kennedy underwent multiple surgeries and relied on a regimen of medications and treatments, including corticosteroid injections and physical therapy. Number 15, the chronically ill politician. Before being sworn in, but during his time in office as a senator, Kennedy was diagnosed with Addison's disease, a rare endocrine disorder affecting the adrenal glands, which required him to take steroid medications to regulate his body's cortisol levels. Despite these health challenges, Kennedy sought to project an image of vitality and strength, often concealing the extent of his medical issues from the public. His perseverance in the face of physical adversity exemplified his resilience and determination as a leader. Number 14, the hopeless romantic. A series of romantic relationships marked President Kennedy's early love life, but one of the most notable was with Swedish socialite Gunilla von Post. Their whirlwind romance began during Kennedy's visit to the French Riviera in 1953, where he met von Post while recovering from back surgery. Their passionate affair continued through heartfelt letters exchanged over the years, revealing Kennedy's tender and affectionate nature. Despite the constraints of his political career and marriage to Jacqueline Bouvier, Kennedy maintained a deep connection with von Post, highlighting the complexities of his personal life. Number 13, President Womanizer. President Kennedy's rumored relationship with Marilyn Monroe remains one of the most enduring and controversial aspects of his personal life. While evidence of romantic involvement between the two iconic figures exists, the exact nature of their relationship remains shrouded in speculation and secrecy. Monroe's sultry rendition of Happy Birthday, Mr. President, at Kennedy's birthday celebration in 1962 added fuel to the rumors, fueling public fascination with their alleged affair. However, the true extent of their relationship remains a debate among historians and biographers, with some dismissing it as mere speculation and others suggesting a deeper connection based on anecdotal evidence and eyewitness accounts. Number 12, the sex addict. President Kennedy's alleged incredible sex drive has been a subject of fascination and speculation for decades, with numerous anecdotes and accounts suggesting a voracious appetite for physical intimacy. From rumored extramarital affairs to his charismatic charm and magnetism, Kennedy's personal life has been the subject of intense scrutiny and fascination. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, his reputation as a charismatic womanizer persists, fueled by accounts from acquaintances, aides, and alleged mistresses. Number 11. The political rising star. President Kennedy held several elected offices and positions of authority throughout his political career. He began his political journey as a U.S. House of Representatives member, representing Massachusetts' 11th Congressional District from 1947 to 1953. During his time in Congress, he advocated for progressive policies and initiatives, including healthcare reform, civil rights legislation, and increased funding for education. Number 10. The surprising power grab. In 1953, Kennedy transitioned to the U.S. Senate, where he served as a senator for Massachusetts until his election to the presidency in 1960. As the 35th President of the United States, Kennedy held the highest office in the country from January 20, 1961, until his tragic assassination on November 22, 1963. Number 9. Presidential nepotism. President Kennedy's administration was surrounded by allegations of nepotism, particularly regarding his younger brother Robert F. Kennedy's appointment as Attorney General of the United States. Critics accused President Kennedy of granting his brother preferential treatment and undue influence in shaping national policy. Despite Robert Kennedy's legal qualifications and dedication to public service, his appointment raised ethical concerns about potential conflicts of interest and favoritism within the highest levels of government. Number 8. The man that defied America's war machine. President Kennedy's had a long-standing confrontation with the military-industrial complex. The head of state was never shy about his views against the military and defense interests, which were left in the open during the Bay of Pigs invasion and the Cuban Missile Crisis. Despite initially approving the ill-fated invasion of Cuba, Kennedy later took responsibility for its failure and publicly expressed his frustration with the advice he received from military advisors. Number 7. The man who took a stand for peace during the Cold War. President Kennedy displayed a unique skill for diplomacy and politics during the Cuban Missile Crisis. The president's cautious approach to resolving the standoff with the Soviet Union defied the more hawkish recommendations of most of his trigger-happy military officials. This perceived tension between Kennedy and elements within the military establishment underscored his commitment to thoughtful, pragmatic decision-making in the face of complex geopolitical challenges, solidifying his reputation as a leader willing to challenge entrenched interests in pursuit of peace and national security. Number 6. Kennedy had ties with the mob. President Kennedy's alleged connections with the mob have been a subject of speculation and controversy for years, with various theories suggesting ties between his administration and organized crime figures. One of the most notable allegations involves Kennedy's father, Joseph P. Kennedy Sr., who purportedly had business dealings with mobsters during his career as a businessman and political figure. Additionally, rumors of JFK's relationship with mob-affiliated individuals, such as Frank Sinatra and Judith Campbell Exner, have fueled speculation about potential links between the president and organized crime. Number 5. Kennedy is the man of conspiracies. President Kennedy's assassination remains one of the most tragic and hotly debated events in American history, with multiple theories posited regarding the motives behind his murder. Among the myriad reasons speculated upon are political, ideological, and personal factors. Some theories suggest that Kennedy's push for civil rights and his confrontation with powerful interests, including the military-industrial complex and organized crime, may have made him a target for assassination. Others point to international affairs, such as his handling of the Cuban Missile Crisis and his stance on the Vietnam War, as potential motives for his killing. Additionally, personal vendettas, conspiracy theories, and psychological motivations have all been proposed as possible reasons behind the assassination. Number 4. Every single agency has recognized failings at Kennedy's security detail on the day of his death. The documented failures of security by the Secret Service on the day President Kennedy was assassinated are still subject to scrutiny and controversy to this day. One notable aspect was the failure to adequately protect the open-air motorcade route in Dallas, Texas, where Kennedy was shot. Despite concerns about potential security risks, the Secret Service did not implement certain standard security measures, such as deploying rooftop agents along the route or conducting thorough background checks on individuals attending the motorcade. Additionally, the lack of coordination and communication between various law enforcement agencies contributed to the breakdown of security protocols, allowing the assassin, Lee Harvey Oswald, to carry out the attack. Number 3. Kennedy's death also killed America's innocence. President Kennedy's passing profoundly impacted the perception of political figures in the USA, ushering in an era of heightened scrutiny and skepticism towards political leadership. His assassination shattered the nation's sense of security and innocence, leaving a deep and lasting imprint on the collective consciousness. In the aftermath of Kennedy's death, there was a widespread sense of disillusionment with the political establishment, as many Americans questioned the integrity and effectiveness of their leaders. This skepticism was further fueled by the subsequent controversies surrounding the investigation into Kennedy's assassination, including allegations of conspiracy and cover-up. As a result, the public's trust in political figures and institutions was significantly eroded, leading to a more cynical and critical attitude towards those in power. Number 2. Kennedy was the last president who truly pushed for a peaceful world. President Kennedy's staunch opposition to war was evident throughout his presidency, as he sought to navigate the complex challenges of the Cold War without resorting to military conflict. Despite facing intense pressure from hawkish advisors and escalating tensions with the Soviet Union, Kennedy consistently advocated for diplomacy and restraint in dealing with international crises. One notable example was the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962, where Kennedy's measured approach and willingness to engage in back-channel negotiations ultimately averted a nuclear showdown between the United States and the Soviet Union. His vision of peaceful coexistence with the Soviet bloc underscored his belief in the power of dialogue and negotiation to resolve disputes and maintain stability on the world stage. Number 1. Kennedy's death Kickstarter, the Kennedy Curse. The Kennedy Curse is a term used to describe the series of tragedies and misfortunes that have plagued the Kennedy family over the years, including untimely deaths, accidents, and scandals. This dark legacy began with the assassination of President John F. Kennedy in 1963, followed by the assassinations of his brother, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, in 1968, and his son John F. Kennedy Jr. in a plane crash in 1999. The Kennedy family has also endured numerous other tragedies, including fatal accidents, illnesses, and scandals involving various members of the family. Despite their wealth, power, and influence, the Kennedys have been unable to escape the specter of tragedy, leading to speculation about a curse or hex afflicting the family. While some attribute these misfortunes to mere coincidence or the high-risk lifestyles of certain family members, others see them as evidence of a dark and mysterious force haunting the Kennedy dynasty. We are glad you have reached the end of the video. Please subscribe to the channel. We'll be back real soon with 20 new curious facts about something else.